amplified pattern recognition.
Why does the universe exist? We're about 5 Einsteins away from the answer.
Welcome to Think Tank. This is a podcast where in each episode we pick a topic and then we discuss it with industry professionals and thought leaders in that industry. I'm Josh Gonzalez.
And I'm Braeden Drew. And we're your hosts of Think Tank. This is episode 9 on bone conducting headphones with Vibe CEO and founder Simba Wakatama.
We sat down with Simba to talk about the technology behind his headphones. If you want to learn more about bone conducting headphones and how they actually work, go to our website at thinktankcast.com. Go to this episode 9, and we have some links so you can learn about a little bit more about it before we get into the episode. We also talked to Simba about entrepreneurship and his philosophies on starting a business. So if you're a business owner thinking about starting your own business, this is going to be an awesome episode because he has some amazing tips and tricks for you. So let's get right into it. Simba, thanks so much for coming on, man. Why don't you tell us a little about what you're doing here and with your startup and what you're creating?
Okay, so thanks for having me, first of all. And for everyone listening, I'm Simba Wakatama. I'm a Ryerson student here, a mechanical engineer at Ryerson. And my startup is actually fashionable bone conduction headphones. So we noticed that the current alternatives were not very luxury. They weren't well designed, in my opinion. And we wanted to basically fill that void between the current headphones that, normal headphones, right? Beats by Dre, Bose, all of those, and the luxury they offer, but then with the technology of the bone conduction. And then putting it a step up and being just better than everybody, right?
Yeah, exactly. So what are the benefits of having the bone conduction headphones rather than like regular headphones that completely cut off your external senses?
Okay, so if you want to know exactly how bone conduction works, Google, right?
Right.
But
it's a step away. We'll keep it in the
time.
notes. Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes. If you want to learn a little bit more about bone conduction headphones, just check out our show notes at thinktankcast.com.
So I'll just give a brief explanation, right? So bone conduction works by sending sound through vibrations straight to the inner ear. And that's as technical as I'm going to get. But basically, it bypasses the eardrum. So what this allows you to do is not use your eardrums at all. So my headphones don't go in or on your ear. They go around your ear. If you have problems with your eardrum or your ear canals, the middle or outer ear, you can listen to music perfectly fine. Even if you were born, say, without an eardrum and your inner ear is working, you can listen to music and enjoy it.
It depends on the certain kind of deafness that the person is kind of experiencing before they can actually listen to it.
Exactly. Because there are some, even with hearing aids, what people don't understand is that a lot of the damage that you get from even just regular headphones is irreversible. They can only compensate for that damage.
I don't know, what is the other technology that you can actually use to be able to listen to? Like you said, you can use hearing aids and then maybe try to put headphones over that, but even then, you can't really hear music the same.
No, when you're wearing hearing aids, you cannot put headphones on, but you can put earphones in. But the problem is that someone who's using hearing aids, the hearing aid is amplified way louder than your earphones are made to go. You cannot use earphones either. You really just have to use speakers through the hearing aid. So you have to play the music, and then your hearing aid picks it up and amplifies it, and then you hear it. So that's a problem, right? I can tell you a quick story, actually, which really brings it home. I was sitting in one of the Ryerson rooms, the DME, and a gentleman, I noticed he had hearing aids on. So I asked him, what part of your ear do you know if it's damaged, whether it's the inner ear or the outer ear? He told me he doesn't know. He thinks it's the inner ear, but he's not sure. So then I told him what I'm working on. And I told him, you know what? If it's your inner ear, there's not much I can do. But if it's your outer ear, then, you might be able to hear with this product. And so I go around about my pitch the way I usually go about it, which starts kind of like, so, when you're using headphones or, the fatigue or whatever. And then he just looked at me and said, I've never used headphones before.
Oh, wow.
I can't use headphones.
He's never used headphones.
Yeah. he can't use them
wow.
because of his hearing aid.
Has he tried other bone conduction headphones, or did he even know about them?
No.
Really?
He'd never heard of it.
Because I never really heard about it until you told me about it. Then
Exactly.
I started looking into it, and there's other competitors out there, but you're doing something way different. They're all doing like like almost like inner ear style, like almost like ear pods kind of style,
and mostly sports oriented.
Yeah, sport oriented, like going for runs, going for jogs, so it doesn't fall out of your ear. The people who don't have damaged ears, they still want to use this, and what are the benefits for them?
Yes, so the people who can hear perfectly fine, the benefits for them is situational awareness. So when you're walking down Yonge and Dundas, for instance, you know you're probably going to jaywalk here or there. You know things are going crazy. Taxi drivers are going mad trying to, So you have to be extremely situationally aware. But what I noticed, it's a problem that people have just given up on, because headphones, we know them as they are. And that's it. We accept that this is the best we can get.
Just goes over your ears,
Exactly.
blocks out the rest of the world.
Exactly.
And I guess it depends on the situation, because sometimes you do want that. I mean, when you're at home, safe,
Exactly.
listening to music or watching TV. But yeah, you're right. When you're walking around, like a lot of people just have their earbuds in. They have their headphones on. They're walking around the city, and it's just unsafe.
It's very unsafe.
Bikers,
skateboarders, rollerbladers. In summer, it gets even worse, right?
Right.
You got a whole bunch of tourists. They don't know where they're going. But with my headphones, you see, you have the option. It's all about really empowering the user. You don't have to be, shackled by the common day headphones where it's either on or off. Because in the research, people would not take their headphones off. They don't want to stop listening to their music. They'll try to turn the volume down or block one ear, leave one ear open.
then it just gives you a bad experience.
Yeah, and also now you can get hit from one side.
Right.
Right? You're only situationally aware on one side.
Yeah.
Right? So with my headphones, you have the option of blocking or unblocking your ears. We even go further because we have earplugs integrated into the headphones. You can choose how much sound you let in.
Yeah, because I remember I actually tried your prototype. We're allowed to talk about that,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, you're
yeah.
fine with that? Okay, cool. Yeah, so I tried your prototype the other day, and it was really cool. The quality kind of got amplified when I plugged my ears. Like, you came around,
Yes.
you're, okay, plug your ears. I'm like, okay, the sound got better, got more bass.
Exactly.
A lot louder. But, like, for everyday usage, like, it's fine to have that because you want to hear the music, but you also want to hear real life.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's times where, like, hey, I want to get a little bit more of this. The
Exactly.
sound of the song. So, like, if you're on the subway, if you're on the streetcar,
Exactly.
then you can put the earplugs in, then you just hear your music. You don't want, then you can block out the rest of the world, essentially.
So
Exactly.
if situational awareness is so high when you're using your earphones, does that mean you'll be able to drive and use them? Because you can't drive and use like regular earphones their way now because you
Exactly.
can't hear
Right,
anything
yeah.
around you.
You're right. You're exactly right. You can drive and use my headphones because
That's
it's the
really cool.
same as driving with speakers on. So now here we might run into the situation where the law has to catch up with technology because there has to be a distinction between the kinds of headphones you're using. Because now the question is mine a medical device or is it a headphone? What classification? You can drive with a hearing aid.
Right.
You cannot drive with headphones.
No.
But mine is not a hearing aid, but they're truly headphones.
Right, because it's only taking the electrical signals. It's not trying to take the actual sounds around someone's surroundings and
Exactly,
amplify it.
exactly.
Although you could probably do that then.
Easily.
Just put in, some kind of microphone system.
Exactly.
On the outside. But you wouldn't even need to because that's not what you're trying to do.
It's not what we're trying to do, but if, let's say, we wanted to, we could improve the quality of the headphone to a medical level.
Oh, totally.
In which case we have a non-invasive alternative. Because modern bone conduction technology, in terms of the hearing aid, they drill into your skull and put an implant.
Oh, so the actual like physical implant.
That's very
Yes.
invasive.
It's
yeah.
very
Yeah,
invasive.
they drill behind your ear, and in the base of your skull, and they cut a patch of hair, and so you can't get it wet. You can't do a lot of things. It really impedes on your life. But
I'm sure there's risks associated with that too.
It's every surgery,
Yeah,
right?
So are there any risks associated with using bone conduction technology?
Right now, it's the safest technology for listening to audio. much safer than both speakers and headphones.
Right. Are there any concerns? I'm sure like when people first hear about it, like, oh, bone conduction, this is new technology. I'm listening through my skull. What's happening? There's got to be something wrong with it. But like that's not always the case. Like, have you done research into this?
Yes. So bone conduction technology is actually extremely old. You know, the most famous early case of bone conduction technology is Beethoven.
Oh.
The first.
Oh, right.
Yep. Beethoven. He used bone conduction technology when he stuck a cable into his piano or a harpsichord, I'm not sure at the time, but a piano, and then he would bite on the cable. And those vibrations were actually going through his teeth and then into his inner ear.
So that's how he actually heard his creations.
Exactly. People think that he felt vibrations and then he knew what key he was pressing. That's completely wrong. He heard the keys he was pressing.
Oh, wow.
That's how he
Through
was
bone
able to
conduction.
compose,
Insane.
even though he was deaf.
Yeah, I had no idea. That's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
It's something everyone knows. Everyone knows that, he went deaf. Everybody knows that he did this some kind of trick to feel vibration. But what they didn't know is that he wasn't feeling the vibration, he was hearing. So
through bone conduction.
Through bone conduction.
A very
yes.
rudimentary technology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very
So
early
maybe
stage.
I'm thinking like maybe this will inspire a whole new generation of like musical creators who couldn't really create music before.
Yes. I mean, in terms of just your average everyday person, what it allows us to do is it's not even in the technology, it's in the design. Because now we're not limited by the designs of the modern day amplifier and the tweeter and the
Right.
all these things.
We have all the technology.
Yeah.
It's all there.
It's all there. But it used to be, it's all round, right? And then when you see something that's, say, oval or triangular, you freak out like, whoa. But it all covers your ears or maybe open back, maybe. So bone conduction now you can take the design anywhere. You can even merge the two, the regular headphones with the bone conduction technology. You can merge the two to create an alternative which has both. And then your designs can be even
Right.
more crazy.
Yeah.
So options.
It's true, because like when you think of like even like the Dr. Dre Beats, like you kind of talked about earlier, I wouldn't say they're the best headphones out there. I personally wouldn't say they sound the best. They don't have like the flattest EQ.
No.
We're Audio-Technica guys. Like when it comes to professional recording, like you're gonna want like the best and the flattest EQ'd sound.
Exactly. So my headphones are not for audio recording.
Right.
Right?
For production quality, because you're not going to hear it the same way when someone hears it in the car, hears it on their regular headphones and their earbuds. It doesn't sound the same.
We're very, very clear about that. What we're selling ourselves is, I dare you to find anything as cool and as fashionable as my headphones. I dare you. I dare you to find something with the functionality that we have included. We have not only solved the situational awareness problem, we've solved headphone problems. If you wear glasses, right, and you wear headphones, it hurts. We've integrated a system where your glasses, any kind of glasses, sunglasses, medical glasses, whatever you got, they won't even be touched by the headphone.
That's perfect. Like I think that's even just that in itself is a huge problem to be solved.
It is a huge problem. Huge problem. And headphone companies have just overlooked it. Yet the biggest disability in, at least on this side of the world or in the world is visual impairment. But we don't notice.
Right.
Because glasses are normal. Glasses are cool.
Yeah, they are fashionable. People use it as some fashion statement more so sometimes than actually needing to see.
But you got to understand that they have no choice.
Right. Yeah, they have to do it. They could get laser eye surgery. Again, it's alternatives.
They could. Yeah. And it might not work.
Right.
And it might make them blind forever.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's so true. So is it worth the risk? I don't know. I'll just wear glasses. Screw it.
Right, but glasses are very much a fashion statement. So we're a fashion company. We encourage it.
But you guys aren't trying to you're not trying to make anyone have a choice between fashion or function. I mean,
no.
You want the headphones to sound great, and you want it to look cool, and you want it to be usable.
Exactly. And even another fashion feature we've added is because our headphones are around ear design, your ears are exposed. They're basically framed, and it's almost like framed like a picture because our design was made to frame the ear like a picture. But in that design, we've integrated what I like to call a smart curve. And basically that allows every earlobe to be shown, no matter how big or small your ears are.
That's great, because I actually don't have earlobes. Like I have like a non-existing earlobes.
So for even you, whatever you have, it'll show. And the purpose is that so you can wear your earrings. I have earrings. I wear earrings sometimes, and I match my earrings with my clothing. I can cover my ear, but still show my earrings and accessorize. So I don't even want to call them headphones. I want to call them accessories because that's what they are. It's just an extension of your style, right?
Yeah, and yourself. Like I identify with this. I want to look cool, and this is how I feel I could improve on my own body, on myself, on my physical being.
Exactly.
Which is cool. I mean, like I'm all for fashion. You know, we're pretty fashionable dudes. Not so much Braeden.
How dare you?
You don't care. You just don't care really much about
whatever fits is good enough for me.
Yeah. So like for you, like, is this something that you'd be interested in?
I'd be interested in it because on long drives and stuff, and I like the technology. And I just think like if you wear headphones for a long time, it gets very uncomfortable for your ears. And I just like that it's not on your ear really.
Yeah.
So I'd use that because it's like convenience of listening to music.
Yeah, you're all about convenience. But I mean, again, like you just kind of brought up a good point. If you can put these headphones on and they just disappear. We have these headphones on now. We can feel them. Like I feel them cupping my ears. They sound amazing. Awesome. But like I can feel that they're on my head. I can feel that I have this thing on my head. If you can make it almost just like disappear, like it's almost like an invisible technology, that's when technology really shines.
Exactly.
Where it's just part of your body. Like
it's part of your body. Because you don't have to take my headphones off, right? Throughout your day. See, that means you don't need, someone says, oh, are they portable? Who cares? You don't take them off.
Yeah, you don't have
right?
to. Yeah.
But yes, they are, just to answer your question.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah.
We made them foldable, portable, and they will come with, we haven't decided yet, but, some kind of holding system so you can keep all the headphone parts and accessories in one neat place. But you shouldn't really need to take them off your head.
Because you can always hear with them on.
Exactly.
But then that brings up a good societal point where, like, there's times when you're in public and you put on your earplugs to be like, hey, don't come talk to me.
Exactly.
I have headphones on. You're working.
Exactly.
And then the people around you in the cubicle, in the office, you're like, just don't come here. I have headphones on. Like, can you see I have headphones?
I'm so glad you brought up the office and the cubicles, right? A lot of companies are now moving to this cubicle style thing. Open space, actually, not cubicle.
It's
space.
Opening it up from
exactly
cubicle.
From cubicle. Sorry. So that now you're forced to deal with everyone's noise. You used to be in cubicles, and then we opened the space up. Everyone's going to be talkative. Everyone's going to be making noise, playing their music the same as they've always been. But your boss still needs you to listen. Right?
Yeah, it's very antisocial, right?
Extremely.
And that's what we're moving towards, like against that, where it's more collaborative.
Exactly.
People are talking,
Because that's the point of open space, is so that even the CEO and the intern and media and research can just talk to each other directly. And then you solve problems without even knowing you're solving them.
With people who have a lot of hair, do they hear a lot less than somebody who's like bald and it's like right against their skin?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
No.
So so the more material that's between the headphone and your skin and your bone, really, yes, does affect it. But we have placed the transducers strategically at a low-fat, thin skin area, very non-sensitive area as well, so you can wear them with the pressure, the right applied pressure, with no pain.
Which is right, kind of near the temples, right?
Exactly.
Just below the temples.
That temple, it seems to be low in nerve endings, so you don't feel much pain there. It's low fat over there, so and thin skin on your face. So it's a really ideal spot because you do need a lot of pressure to hear clearly. The more pressure, the more clear the audio is. Because of that location, it doesn't really matter. You will feel the pressure, but you won't feel pain. Right, and that's the most important thing.
Right, exactly. I remember even when you came by when I was trying out your prototype, you put it on my temple. It's okay, cool, I can kind of hear it. And you're like, okay, now try this. And you came over and you like kind of push it into my temple. I'm like, oh, I can hear it a lot clearer.
Exactly.
And it wasn't so much as it was uncomfortable. I could see how it could be, but I'm sure you can put like another I don't know, maybe some kind of material over top of it, whether it's just instead of just the metal, the transducer.
Yeah. Right now
transducers?
it was the transducers, but in the future it would be some kind of maybe a plastic rubber fusion something.
Because you want the friction, right?
Yeah, you want the friction without stopping the vibrations.
Right.
So that now goes into material sciences. If people are very, very interested in this technology, and not so much in the technology as much as in what I'm doing with the technology, I think that's
how you apply it.
It's how you apply it, because there's so much crazy technology in this world that has no use, right?
Yeah,
we call that the engineer's the engineer's fault. The character flaw of an engineer is to invent something first and then try to find a use for it later.
Yeah, it's the worst way. We talked about the Muse headset the other day about it. Yeah,
yes.
That's a great story.
Yeah, it's a really good story. And I mean, they will tell you themselves. They came up first with the technology, and then they decided to look for an application for that technology, and then they realized that, you know what, the applications we originally wanted are a little bit further ahead of the technology we currently have. So now we have to fit it, product market fit. It was more than product market fit. It was now, finding the product first.
Right. And if people here who are listening right now don't know what the Muse headset is, essentially what it is it reads your brain waves to help you concentrate when meditating, to let you know when you're concentrating. So what was it that they're even trying to build before they even made a meditation device?
Well, they're trying to build systems that your brain, kind of like a cyborg control.
Oh, right. So you can use your brainwaves to control like a video game, and then in turn maybe a cybernetic arm or like
anything. But they found out it was very complicated and extremely expensive.
Oh, totally.
So
that's an R&D project. You're not going to that's not going to be a consumer product anytime soon.
Oh yeah. So hundreds of thousands of dollars later, maybe even millions, they realize, oh, you know what, this isn't working so well. So let's use what we have right now, not sink deeper into this. And so they came up with Muse, which uses the technology very well, but it's an extremely simple version of the technology, right?
It's not what they wanted.
Not that they wanted, because I spoke to the CEO. I said, when can we see where you can control pause, play, skip, all those things in headphones? Because I would love to collaborate with you, right?
That'd be amazing. Like, instead of like even using, I think you have a wearable tech, you have a Moto 360 smartwatch.
Yes.
Okay, that's the next best thing to control like music, stop, pause.
Exactly.
But imagine you just use your brainwave. Hey, I want to stop this song right now.
Yep.
You just think stop, and it just stops.
It just stops.
You don't have to reach in your pocket, go into your iPod, go into your iPhone, and like press a button, swipe it. It's just like, I want it to go to the next song. So that'd be amazing.
Speaking about how you say it's better to have a goal and then you build the technology to solve a problem, basically.
Yes, you have to start with the problem. You see, it's an entrepreneur's dilemma, really, is that people want a good idea. A good idea. And ideas are worth nothing. Zero. Ideas are literally worth nothing. Not even something for trying,
It's not even worth 1%.
Not even worth 1%.
Ideas are nothing.
It's nothing, because you can come up with ideas all day. I've got 10,000 ideas I came up with since I was born, and I've only acted on how many, right? It's when you're actually doing it. That's when your idea becomes meaningful.
When it has real value in the real world.
Yeah. Exactly. And I mean, it brings the topic about entrepreneurism. I don't know if you want to get into that.
Totally, man. We're all about that here.
Well, good on that, but I like the tangent we were going on. So you're trying to solve a problem. So what does the future really look like for your wearable tech? Because if you could integrate your bone-sensitive technology into glasses for augmented reality...
Yeah.
Then you wouldn't even need
then
headphones.
The ear could always be open, because that's that way you can now have audio with AR.
You have to.
Well, that's what I think I talked to you about. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look into it, but I think that the HoloLens has bone conduction technology for music.
I saw that they have speakers.
Ooh, you're right. I think it might be speakers that just go over top of the ear. I think this would work a lot better.
Because a lot of companies are still believing that people care more about sound quality. Because the thing is, when you sell a first generation product like the HoloLens, they're selling a home theater system. You got to understand.
Right.
They're selling a home theater system because people don't people are very resistant to technology. You have to sell them what they already know. They cannot use bone conduction. They cannot use it because no one's going to buy it, right? No one's going to buy the bone conduction because they don't understand it. They have to spend so much money educating the people on what bone conduction is before they can even sell it, right? So it's going to take some time. By that time, I'll be well established and ready to partner.
Right, exactly. With another augmented reality company.
Exactly.
Which you're right is awesome because you're right. It doesn't have to be in headphone style. It can be in anything.
Style.
If it's on glasses, it might even work better.
Exactly.
Because you're having that band around the area where you're going to be. Well, what's the term for it? Where it's actually is it transducing? Where the technology is going through the bones?
It's transducing, yeah.
Right. So
or conducting.
Conducting.
Either way.
Yeah.
Because it's a transducer, it transduces or it conducts. I guess it's kind of interchangeable. I mean, I'm sure there's someone out there thinking, no, it's not. I know the definition.
We know someone like that. I'm sure we all know someone like that. But in any case, you don't need the headphones. It could be anything that goes around the skull that conducts the music.
But you made a point. You said, what's the future of wearable tech? I can tell you very confidently that the future of wearable tech is fashion.
That's 100% true.
It
has to be.
Yeah.
Because it can't look. If it doesn't look good, why would you wear it?
The future of wearable tech is not technology. It's 100% away from. It's as far from technology as you can get. No one cares. No one cares. People think they care about technology, but what do they actually care about? They care about their life being more real than it already is, right? The technology, because technology started out to, I don't know, non-human, and now they're just trying to, you want your life to be more and more and more human, as if you were born with that technology integrated into your body.
And that's what will happen eventually. That's
Exactly.
Cybernetic,
Seamless
cyborgs.
integration.
Yeah, and that's, again, user experience comes into it. And that's the whole thing. It's like the user experience.
Exactly.
Feel like it was made for you.
Exactly.
Like this headphone, I could have been born with this. Like, this was made for me.
But before cybernetics, fashion. Why?
Right.
Because that's the closest to your body we can get without implanting anything into your body.
Because isn't the clothes we're wearing technically technology? At one point, they were considered technology. It's keeping me warm. It's doing something. Maybe even clothes will be part of technology.
And the engineering that goes into fabricating your materials is ridiculous.
They already have heated sweaters.
Yeah. That's
shoes.
new. That's new, and the technology is very much improving. Someone has to be first, right? And they're gonna suck, but that's okay because they're first, and then it improves. Think about the first iPhone. You couldn't even put it on your face when making calls because it would press buttons.
Yeah, no, you couldn't even go on the internet. It wouldn't even work. Most people who bought the first iPhone, the first month, they couldn't even make a call, and guess what? They still loved it.
They still loved it. Why? Because they were the first and they were innovating, right? It's okay to suck when you're the first, or it's okay to suck when you're innovating, right? It's just a matter of don't stay there, because the average consumer won't get it. But there are people that will get it, and those people are what really matter. At the beginning of any startup, you cannot focus on everyone. People are always like, oh, I want, who's your target market? Everybody. Just because everyone can use headphones doesn't
theoretically,
mean theoretically, right?
Yeah.
But you try selling to everybody, see how that goes for you. You have to niche yourself and get that small market of loyal customers who will test your product for you, and they'll forgive you when you make mistakes.
Because they love you and they love the brand.
Because they love you and they know what you're trying to do.
And also, just going back to the future of wearable tech.
Yeah.
Whenever I thought to myself about AR in general, I was always thinking visual, and it never really crossed my mind at all that you could literally have AR integrated and only have audio. Where you could go to your favorite diners and cafes, and they'd have set background music to wherever you're going and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many applications.
It doesn't always need to be visual. Because that'd be really cool.
Because it's still augmenting your reality.
Yeah, it's like Spotify.
Your reality.
Spotify coffee.
That's awesome. You're right, because your reality isn't just your visual senses. You could augment your reality with smell.
But you see, music is more powerful than vision.
Well, audio in general, I think that's where immersion comes.
Exactly.
Right?
It's not just one-dimensional, two-dimensional, three-dimensional experience. It's a spiritual experience. Music can shape your emotions. your mind, your thoughts, your brain waves change, but and you feel it even deeper than what we can explain, right?
So you can't explain
why
you love certain music, why did the song make me cry. You can't explain it's because the singer had some words.
Yeah.
It's about maybe the key it was playing in, maybe some notes that just hit you, it just hits at home. Like,
exactly.
Music is beyond
and
explanation.
It's beyond science. It actually changes the physical realm around you, right? And I mean, okay, maybe I sound like I'm talking, some garbage here, but you can look it up. You can look up some of the amazing things you can do with music, how you can influence your surrounding with music on a molecular level, right?
Wasn't it? It was like a serious movie, like back in the 80s, where they were the whole premise of the movie was they were using music on coma patients.
Yeah,
and they're using music to get them to wake up out of like deep, like so-called like your brain dead sleep.
Catatonic.
And then all of a sudden they can come.
Was Robin Williams in that movie?
That was a different one. That was schizophrenia.
No, Robin Williams was in another one. Well, I mean, based on that, do you know 434 hertz? Like, music that we listen to right now, everything that's on the radio is all composed at 440 hertz.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they did some studies where the same song is played in 434 hertz, and the way that the molecular structures respond to that music is completely different. Yeah. It's almost as if the 440 hertz muffled everything around it, and it made everything very muddy.
Yeah.
As soon as it was played at 434, literally with water, the whole molecules change, and it was like much nicer, is more in tune.
Yeah.
And they noticed that people who listen to certain songs between 440 hertz, 434 hertz, they respond differently. People who listen to at 440 hertz are more, I would say they're more aggressive. Aggressiveness is something that happens.
Yeah.
And they're more hostile.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that changes society, but I mean, like, that's...
Oh, it does.
It does. It really, like you said, beyond
and they use music.
Governments
have used music from time and time again to
influence people.
And influence large groups of people to do whatever. So if people are being too violent, they start pushing through media some more calming music. Or if people are going through hard times and they're trying to say, like,
it's just it's a form of expression.
It's a huge form of expression.
And it's one that you don't need to know the same language to be able to relate with. Like, there's some songs and stuff that people can relate with, and they have no lyric. And so then going back to the future, I think that's really cool, because, like, when you're getting massages and stuff like that, they play music.
That tranquil music.
Yeah. Now imagine, like, there's different moods and stuff, like for when you're like just getting coffee, or you're getting takeout, or you're in the hospital waiting room.
It's crazy, but just sound in general is something we're probably in the future going to be, healing people with sound and whatnot, scientifically speaking, not even, because the way
not therapeutically.
Not therapeutically.
That'll be part of it.
It's going to be another form of energy as a tool.
It is energy.
Exactly.
They're using sound now to be able to suspend objects.
Exactly.
They're able to use sound.
They'll be using vibrations for all kinds of things. And it's funny, the ancient Egyptians actually used sound for medical reasons. Now, how well it worked, that's a different story. And people got to understand that even when you understand how something works, the why it is different from what it is, right? And so there's always going to be that quest for why things are the way they are. And I don't think we can find it in our lifetimes. I think it's just, that's the way it's supposed to be. We keep asking the questions, right? Because it's a lot easier to find out what something is and how it works than why it's there in the first place.
And then try to use it and have the why within your own agenda.
Exactly.
You're going to have the why for yourself.
It's always the evolution of knowledge, where you gain more experiential knowledge.
Exactly.
Yeah,
which means that your perspective is always going to change.
It's always
and grow.
changing.
It's always
that's what
changing.
life is all about, because the minute you block your mind from learning, really, then you're done living, right? You're done. You can kick the can right now.
This is all I need to know. I don't need to know anymore.
There's nothing beyond this. It's done after this.
I'm ready to just...
But often when you do that, it's a mechanism to stop yourself from thinking on purpose, because you're living a life you don't like.
Exactly.
Right? And that ties into entrepreneurism very much so, because when you're an entrepreneur, you've experienced that already, and then it's the turning point, because one person will say, I'm not living the life I want, and then the entrepreneur will just be like, you know what, This is it. I have to change. I am learning something new, doing something new, and changing my world.
And continually grow, and you can change the world
There
around
you
you.
go.
It's not just this is how the world is. This
Yeah.
is what I do. I type in these numbers on a computer, then I
Yeah.
go home. You know?
Yeah. And you know, and Steve Jobs, actually, I commend him for this. But anyways, what he said was that basically you can change the world around you. You feel powerless.
He said, I know. Sorry, I don't mean to block you up, but
Yeah,
he just
yeah.
said that the world was just created by people no smarter than you. That's exactly how we started that one off.
Exactly. And so he said, so you can change it.
Yeah.
Right? You can actually influence the world. And on a simple level, just by saying, good day to someone in the morning.
Yeah, paying it forward. And then, so just getting back to entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
A lot of the people we've talked with, we always try to bring up how, like, what your opinion is and what you believe in terms of ethics in business. And if you think, like, it should be a mandatory class across all
I wouldn't even say class. I think
faculties.
just learning in general.
Like,
Yeah.
like in terms of like raising your morality and defining
Yeah.
yourself as a person, should
Yeah.
ethics always be like involved there and always be like
Yes, so I believe that ethics are extremely important in business, but I believe also that a business and a person are two separate entities. You got to understand, right? I mean, okay, go back to what a business is. Its sole purpose is not to change the world. Its sole purpose is not to provide value. Its sole purpose is not anything but to make money.
And I think that's wrong. I honestly do, because I get it. It can be the entrepreneur being the captain of the ship.
Yeah.
But I think the ship itself can't just have one thing, only wanting money, because
No.
you're right. It's the
Yeah.
entrepreneur that decides, I want to change the world.
Exactly.
I want to do better. What happens when that entrepreneur's gone and someone takes over that business
Yeah.
that continues?
the saying you always see come up that people think is okay in business is to say greed is good.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah.
and-
I don't
But
think
you
that's
gotta
right.
understand. So let me explain my point here. So the thing is, people I find confuse and blend the purposes of businesses and the entrepreneur's role, and that's what I'm trying to clarify here, is that the purpose of a business is solely to make money. That's why the entity is constructed, is to manage and make money for who? The entrepreneur or whatever. But the purpose of the entrepreneur is to bring change, to give back, to donate, to help, to inspire. All of that is the purpose of the entrepreneur. But the thing is, when you believe that the purpose of the business is to bring change, to help, to give back, and all of this stuff, now you find you come into horrible financial situations, because now you believe that your business should give before it gets, or you get the roles mixed, right? And the thing is, the business cannot run on its own. It's mindless, right? That's why its purpose is only to make money. It's like a computer. Its purpose is to serve you, right? That's its purpose. But you control what you're doing on that computer, right? So as an entrepreneur, the ethics are not in the business. It's in the people running the business. The business just sees dollar bills, right? And it's supposed to maximize it, because the more money your business is making, the more you can do to help the people that you want to help and the causes you want to help. So I say, when it comes to ethics in business, is that it's a very person-to-person thing, right?
It's a human thing.
It's a human thing.
Ethics is a human thing, 100%.
Yes, and ethics in business is actually not about the business itself, because it's a human thing. It's between the people that run the business. So that's why the people running the business should be ethical. Right. But the businesses themselves have no ethics.
They're just tools to
They're
make
tools.
money. Yeah.
They make money. That's it. If your business isn't making money,
And to bring people together,
Yeah.
obviously, yeah.
if your business isn't making money, let's just be serious. It's not a business. Right?
But Braeden and
Even
I-
nonprofits make money.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But Braeden and I always talk about the idea of, like, growth. Like, it's like, okay, well, if you're not growing, you're dying. But
Yeah,
is there a
yeah.
point we can get just, like, to a steady rate? It's making money and everything's happy.
Sustainability, basically.
Sustainability.
Yeah,
also. It's just a different kind of business.
Like say a passive income. You can either have one very successful business, or you can have multiple self-running businesses that don't need you, and they're making a little bit, but together they're making a ton of money. All right, so you choose what kind of entrepreneur you want to be. That's not for me to tell you, right? And the thing with those multiple small businesses is that eventually one will skyrocket, right? And then that one ends up being the big business anyways. So there's two ways. But yes, I believe very strongly that you should conduct yourself ethically, and in business you should treat people fairly, pay them fairly, and be a good person as the captain of the ship. But don't tell the ship to have feelings. It's a ship. All right?
Tell your crew to have the feelings.
Tell your crew to have the feelings. Tell the ship, optimize the ship to sail in the waters the best it can. Optimize your business to make as much money as it can. And then you set the course to be ethical. You see, that's how I would put it.
And I'm going to bring us way back now to where, like, the beginning of our conversation. With your headset,
Yeah.
when you put it on, I would be interested to see how the brain function changes when you have your bone sensory headset on
Compared to regular headphones?
compared to regular headphones.
Ooh. Have you ever
See
thought
if,
about
if
doing
there
that?
is more neurological stimulation.
Yeah, I would like to see that as well, because it stimulates. You see, the interesting thing is I was reading a study the other day that bone conduction actually reduces anxiety in people, and that when you pair bone conduction with regular, auditory hearing through your ear canal, it can reduce anxiety, calm the heart rate, and make people feel more, just calm, I guess.
More in tune.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with how it's like hearing your own voice,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Because
totally.
you hear your voice through your head. So not through your ears really. So it's that same feeling.
Actually, it's also kind of weird. Like, here, let's just try something really funny. You guys just, in your heads, and whoever's listening here, I want you to think in your head, just say the word hello. Now I want you, in your head, to yell hello. Now I want you to whisper hello. Now I want you to say it in a British accent. Say hello. Now, now one more.
In Russian.
In Russian.
I don't know.
No, in Australian accent, just yell, "Crikey!"
Yeah.
Isn't that strange? Like, what, are you hearing it?
Yeah.
Are you really hearing it?
No.
How is it happening?
you're
How are we?
thinking about it.
Are we thinking it?
Yeah.
Right. But how are you? But you're hearing it
It's
as
just
you're
a
thinking.
thought. You're
hear it.
thinking about what it would sound like because you've heard that before.
But now let's
Exactly.
try something else. Now I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to picture a landscape. I want you to picture that you're on a dock up in Muskoka, up in cottage country. You're on a dock, and a boat comes by from the left to the right, and a seagull flies over your head. And then a really, really loud boat comes by and ruins your day, causing waves, and then you drop your pina colada into the water.
This was all going so well before you.
Yeah, exactly. So what
Man,
were
I
you?
just made that pina colada.
So were you thinking of the visuals, or were you thinking of the audio of the boats and audio of?
I'd say a mixture of
It was
both.
a
Yeah.
bit of both.
Just
But you
painting a
see,
picture,
if you
yeah.
can mimic that in real life, it's very powerful. And the thing is, it's also very dangerous, because with a lot of power comes a lot of the dangers.
Yeah, because think of movies, right?
Yeah.
When you're watching a movie, you're in this dark theater, you don't know anything else is happening in the world because
Yeah.
you're in this movie,
Yeah.
and everything you're hearing and saying, you're being influenced on
Exactly.
such a deep level.
And you can tell, you can
not
use
just a
logic
movie.
as much as you want, but your brain really has a hard time distinguishing between the reality and not. You can be like, oh, I know that's not going to happen to me where I get it confused. No, one day you're going to remember it as a memory, and you're going to think that you were there, and then you'll start to notice, oh, this is
Wait.
actually getting...
Yeah, wait, was I there? Was I at
Exactly.
Mount Everest, or was I just
Yeah.
sitting at home?
Exactly.
And it's going to get so strange. The world is going to get so weird with
Yep.
immersive technology
Yep.
through other means of technology where
Yep.
you're not going to realize, okay, was I in virtual reality? Was I
Yeah.
was I dreaming
And
that?
that's why
Was I at home? Was I
really
there?
don't support virtual reality. I really don't. I support augmented reality.
So is there anything we're about
We're almost on time. Is there anything you want to bring up?
plug or bring up or express?
When are you guys going to start getting in production with this? Or is it still in R&D phase? Is it something you're just kind of...
So right now we wrapped up our first prototype, the alpha. and we are going to now look to getting it product ready. So product ready prototypes, and then we're thinking probably Kickstarter.
Yes.
But the thing is, we don't want to do a Kickstarter early. We want to do a Kickstarter when we've got everything designed. That way, you're just paying for the product, right?
Yeah, so
you're
it's just perfect and it's ready to go. You don't want to wait 3 years. Okay, I ordered it from you guys, and 3 years later, I might get
exactly.
it.
It would just be, we have the designs and everything. You give us the money, and we will.
It's a pre-order.
Yeah. It's a pre-order, really, and that's how we want to do it, because we believe in delivering high quality goods at a high quality standard, right? So that also, we care about the service as well that we're providing. We don't want to play with your money, basically. Is what I'm saying.
Right. So. That's good. That's always good. So in the meantime, what else are you up to?
Yeah, so I've got my YouTube channel, The Official Echo. One of my recent videos is why not to be an entrepreneur. I think that was my first video, actually, why you shouldn't be an entrepreneur. And I was listing all the reasons why you shouldn't be, so that if you know and you understand, then you know that, okay, I am an entrepreneur.
I'll fight through those. I don't care.
Exactly, because the problem is we don't want to, people only tell you the good things about entrepreneurship. So I wanted to make my channel to tell you the truth, right? So hopefully that it'll help you.
And it's always better with more perspectives. I mean, that's what our podcast is all about. Like, me and Braeden can express our truths, but having people like you on here, we need more perspectives to bring to the table.
New elements to add to the conversation.
Exactly.
So just one more time, what's the YouTube channel?
So it's The Official Echo.
All right, that's awesome.
Awesome, man. So we'll definitely have you on more episodes. Thanks so much for coming out.
Thanks for coming out.
Really enjoyed this time, and I'd love to, come again and hopefully have another guest as well, and we can do
more perspectives.
Yeah,
exactly.
more perspectives.
I'd like someone that disagrees with me on here too.
Totally. Exactly. I mean, we like to have a nice conversation, but we could always turn into a debate at some point.
Yeah, a nice spirited debate. Nothing,
just different perspectives.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
Cheers.
If you enjoyed this talk and want to check out more, go to our website at thinktankcast.com and subscribe with your email so we can send you all of the latest episodes, news, and updates right to your inbox.
Also, on our website, there will be show notes for this episode, some links to the things that we talked about, and more detailed information on our guests. If you want to see the video of this episode, it'll be on our YouTube channel, which is also linked on our website.
And if you want to keep in touch, we're on social media. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're at ThinkTankCast on pretty much everything, so you can find us on the web. And all of these details, again, will be linked to our website at thinktankcast.com. Hope to hear from you guys soon.
Amplified pattern recognition.
Why does the universe exist?
We're
We're about 5 Einsteins away from obtaining answers.